The age of the Vikings. Before the world was divided by neat kingdoms and modern borders, before maps filled in the edges of the earth, there were wild northern lands, rugged, snow-laced realms of stone and storm. From this wind-chiseled cradle rose a people who would transform Europe for over 3 centuries. They were not one nation, not one race, not a single tribe. They were a movement, a storm with many names. Born from the lands we now call Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, they surged across the world like waves crashing over a long ship's bow. They were the Vikings. Feared, admired, cursed, and immortalized in legend, their story begins in the 8th century, an age when Europe was still emerging from the chaos that followed Rome's fall. While kingdoms rose and fell in the south, the north remained a land apart, harsh, cold, and isolated. There, the Norse survived by axe, plough, and sea. They were farmers, hunters, traders, and skilled artisans. They raised cattle, grew barley, and gathered in close-knit communities around the hearth fires of wooden longhouses. But the land was unforgiving. A long winter, a failed harvest, or the greed of a local chieftain could spell ruin. And so, with boat-building skills passed down from ancient hands and the daring born of desperation, they turned to the sea. They didn't know they were becoming history's most legendary seafarers. They only knew how to sail. It began, as many storms do, with a flash of violence. In 793 AD, raiders descended upon the monastery of Lindisfarne on the coast of Northumbria. They killed, looted, and vanished, leaving the Christian world reeling. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle recorded it as divine punishment. Fierce foreboding omens came over the land. Fiery dragons were seen in the sky. But the truth was simpler and far more terrifying. The Vikings had arrived, and they came again and again. For decades, their raids would terrorize monasteries, towns, and cities across the British Isles, the Frankish coasts, and beyond. Their sleek, swift longships could navigate open sea and inland rivers, appearing like phantoms, striking fast and disappearing before defenses could be mustered. Yet this was only the beginning. The Viking Age had only just dipped its oars into history. What made the Vikings so formidable was not just their fury, it was their adaptability. They raided, yes, but they also traded, settled, married, and ruled. The same warriors who razed villages would one day build cities on those ashes. They became mercenaries in Byzantium, elite guards in Constantinople. They founded Dublin. Their descendants would go on to rule England and even Sicily. From Norway, Viking explorers launched westward to Scotland, Ireland, the Faroes, then Iceland, Greenland, and finally, miraculously, to the edge of the known world, North America. From Sweden, they traveled east, sailing the great rivers of Russia, establishing trade routes to Byzantium and Baghdad. These paths would ultimately lend their name to the land of Rus, modern-day Russia.